I don't want. You can still hear me?
All right. So, what's new?
This is what I want. There was some tension overnight in the Strait of Hormuz after the memorandum of understanding was signed. Good. Looks good. Message to reason, smart detection, allow to post chat. So what I need to know is what just happened to the Discord cameras. Oh, it has to be front and center. That's why. Where you going? Oh, it has to be. I don't like that. I don't like that. It has to. Let's just get into it.
So, Tuesday, just 36 as of 36 minutes. U.S. and Iran have agreed back and forth. Dangerous periods of violence that began. President Trump to attempt and hostilities with Iran and negotiate a settlement that addresses Tehran's nuclear trafficking in the Strait of Hormuz fell during the tit-for-tat strikes, slowing the recovery waterway through 20%.
Test. Making sure my two in the stream. Get this in the stream. Maybe I'll mic this time.
U.S. offered to hold talks with Iran at a summit, capital of Doha. Some of the summit in detail finalized. Take place as early Tuesday, and we'll focus on as again come to the well. It doesn't seem like any of this is. They just agreed to stop, and then they agree to stop. They pop off, and then we strike back. It seems like they're just playing us, attacking us, and then like, yo, I'll chill. Kill us. You know what I'm saying? We're just
let's check.
Eating that shit.
Let's take a look at this little video real quick.
Turn your screen.
So I need to. That's true. I gotta share the stream. You're right. You got it?
Corps says that Iran has, quote, no choice, get this, but to develop a nuclear bomb to achieve peace and calm. The U.S. posture in the region remains unchanged as tensions we say they rise, but really they're just staying tense. Joining us now for tonight's big close-up, a hero of mine, the acting Secretary of the Navy, Secretary Hung Cao. Thank you so much for joining us.
So much, Joey.
Yes, sir. Listen, I take one issue. I understand when you're a four-flag officer, you wear the lapel, but you can still put that EOD badge up there. I'm just saying, trust me, as a guy who has a couple of flags. In all seriousness, no, you're taking over as the Secretary of the Navy really being the preeminent asset in the region right now when we look over in the Middle East in ways that we haven't really thought about it before. I mean, we fought 20 years of war, and the Navy was very involved. But it wasn't always the boats that we were thinking about. Now that's been the top line. We're in littoral warfare, brown water warfare, using ships in ways that maybe we haven't in the last couple of decades. Where is the Navy when it comes to fighting a war like this?
I mean, we're always ready. We're always on deployment all the time. But right now we need 350 ships. And that's exactly why the president is pushing for this $1.5 trillion budget so we can build the ships we need. Because ships like the USS, Gerald Ford and the entire strike group was extended till 11 months on deployment because we didn't have enough ships to backfill them. And that's why we need these ships out there. But I tell you what, the strength of our...
Why is it like a common thing now? Go publicly.
What they're doing.
You know what I mean? Yo, we're right
That's
here.
crazy.
We only got 27 ships right now. We're locked in. We're trying to get like why is that a thing now? Like why is it that we just like letting people know? What happened to
I hate how they just put it on the news for everybody to see, and it's like, oh, here, this is where all of our ships are at. We're in Kuwait and Bahrain and Iran. And like, what? Like,
Come on,
I don't understand.
Navy and Marine Corps is the sailors and Marines that are manning our ships and bases, and they're getting things done.
You don't just have to say sailors and Marines because you're Secretary of the Navy. You've got a son that's a Marine as well.
Exactly,
so congratulations on that.
We love that. Secretary, I know you don't want to get ahead of the Commander-in-Chief and the Secretary of War here, but there are a lot of Americans who watch the big weekend show, and every weekend we say tensions are rising, now there's a memorandum, now there's a ceasefire, maybe it's not a ceasefire. We read some truth socials from the president, and there are some Americans who are a little confused as to where we are now. They don't know if their gas prices...
I think every American is probably confused as to where we are right now. Nobody knows what's going on over there. I mean, let's be honest. Nobody's seen anything reflected at the gas pump. Nobody has any idea. We thought there was this memorandum of understanding that was signed, which was supposedly a peace treaty, and immediately Iran reneged on the peace treaty. Likely story, right? So all with the looming 250-year birthday of America next week.
are going to go
Hmm? Are you drinking Schweppes? This stream is brought to you in part by Schweppes, the only ginger ale for you.
up or go down. What can you say to the American people who are watching? They believe in the president, but they're sometimes a little confused at all the steps and all the maneuvering going on.
Well, the enemy has a vote, but here's the thing: the president's always 5 steps ahead of him, and we can be the best friends in the world or the worst enemy. And look what's happening down in Venezuela. We're bringing aid and support to the people of Venezuela. And we're patrolling the seas all around the world, including South China Sea, as well as in Europe, the Mediterranean, the Gulf. We're there. We're there to do whatever the president needs to do.
Yeah, I love that. We know that that's going to be the case.
Yeah.
Secretary Cao, pleasure to have you with us. Over the course of the conflict, U.S. assets in the region have taken extensive hits. There's this report from the Wall Street Journal that an attack on a U.S. Navy base in Bahrain did extensive damage, and the U.S. is considering how to shift and adjust on a U.S. Navy base in Bahrain did extensive. Cao, pleasure to have you with us. Over the course of the conflict, U.S. assets in the region have taken extensive hits. There's this report from the Wall Street Journal that an attack on a U.S. Navy base in Bahrain did extensive damage, and the U.S. is considering how to shift and adjust to deal with that. What message do you want to...
What's going on, chat? How do I, in this Twitch, right? How do I promote to get the visibility up? Is there a way to do that? Well, it does say that I have 3 viewers, but I don't see who they are. I'm not very familiar with Twitch chat, so I'm trying to just get started.
The only way you can really see who off.
Is yeah, if you want to go ahead and drop one
later.
Let's figure it
Okay,
out
so
later.
straighter her moves. What else we got going on?
Oh, so Elon Musk is announcing SpaceX plans right now. Let's get.
Matthew McConaughey.
I mean, we can get into it if you want while you're looking.
And it's been, typical SpaceX year. Launched a brand new vehicle, acquired XAI, now SpaceX AI, announced a Terra-sized chip building project, and so
never a dull moment.
Never a dull moment. Typical year. And so let's kind of wanted to connect some of the dots on how this all feeds into making life multiplanetary, starting to climb up the Kardashev scale.
Making life
maybe show off some cool new
multiplanetary.
AI sat stuff. Let's kind of start galaxy sized and bring people in with the Kardashev scale.
What's the big picture?
What's the big picture? What is the Kardashev scale?
Like, how do you decide what progress a civilization has made? That's the most objective metric that any alien species, say, visiting us, would calibrate how much progress we've made as a civilization. And one of the most objective ways to do that is the amount of power that any given civilization has been able to harness. And there was a Russian physicist, actually, I think, by the name of Kardashev, who thought about this, and
I think he's meaning potential, like potential species.
Oh, I thought he.
I mean, no one's gonna come out there and say, "Hey, there's aliens" or anything like that. But I mean,
it's good. I think it's a good way to characterize it, which is you can have you can assess how well a civilization is harnessing the power available on the planet. That's type 1. And then type 2 would be how much of the stars' power are you harnessing?
So if you might not understand what he's saying there, chat. So what he's saying is this is a scale that determines how civilized a species is. So for instance, us humans, humanity, we're on like level 1 because we're harnessing energy on the planet. We're using a power grid, we're using coal, we're using wind, solar, water, etc. How much do you get from the star? See, the star is free energy. So you have this type 2 harness all the energy from the star. If you can see the feed, I'm gonna blow it back up for you guys. Harnessing energy from the star is the next step in advancement in terms of power consumption, because it's not causing any work. It's just causing us to bring in the energy from the star. Now let's go ahead and keep listening to what Elon has to say.
And then type 3 would be how much of the galaxy's power are you harnessing?
Oh, real quick.
These are very objective.
My bad. I was watching. What's up top of? Some solar conductor. Nobody knows what it is, but
on top of the pyramid, find that video. Find that video and let's get it going in a minute. But we're going to keep playing this while you're doing that.
And measurable numbers. So right now we're very low on the Kardashev 1 scale. I keep saying what proportion of our planet's power are we harnessing? It's a very, very tiny number. And basically we're harnessing almost nothing of our star's power. So the sun is truly an immense thing. It is.
So what he's getting into right here is how much energy is the sun bathing the earth in, and how much of that power are we actually using? There's a major, huge gap. The sun is bathing the entire earth in power, every single day, all day, 24/7, because the earth is constantly inside of the sun. And we're only using a micron, just the tiniest little bit of that energy, and that's where we get up into that second tier. Follow what I'm saying, chat? I got one viewer, so I don't know who you are, but thank you for sticking around.
It's difficult with words to characterize just how immense the sun is, but this gives you sort of a sense of scale.
Yeah, it's a big difficulty jump going from level 1 to level 2.
Very big difficulty jump, yes. And level 3, and we don't even know how to do level 3, really.
We'll get there.
Yeah, exactly. AI will figure it out, I suppose. One way to appreciate the size of the sun is to think about how heavy is the sun compared to all the rest of the mass in the solar system. So the sun is about 99.86% of all mass in the solar system. It's everything, and then of the remaining
99.86.
0.14%, most of that is Jupiter, one planet.
So we're still lightweight.
Yes.
He said we're still lightweight.
The entire mass of Earth is in the tiny miscellaneous category. We're like Earth is a tiny dust mote compared to the sun.
But how much energy are we talking? Like coming from the sun, especially compared to what we're using here on Earth? Because it feels like...
Yeah. The incident solar energy on the cross-section of the Earth is roughly a half billionth of the sun's power output. And the vast majority of that we cannot use because 70% of Earth is water.
Yeah.
Technically, our planet should be called water because there's 70% water.
He's so autistic.
Alien civilization
This dude is
visiting us would be like,
why is our planet called Earth? Our planet should be called water. Did you find what you're looking for?
No, I'm scouring the internet.
Scouring the internet for the pyramids, the top of the pyramids potentially being used as a conductor of energy. And that's crazy because the top of those pyramids are always facing the sun. And if you think about the structure of a pyramid, 1 to 2 of those corners is always going to be facing the sun. I mean, so long as the sun is up on that side. So that's kind of pretty damn good design.
why are they calling it Earth when it is mostly water?
Were the Greenlands not green of the solar system?
Yeah, a bunch of the exactly even we're 70% water, and then of the 30% that's land, a bunch of it is Antarctica or Siberia type of thing, very northern Canada type of thing. Very difficult to.
What's that? I can't hear you.
Just found it. I'm gonna pull it up real quick.
All right, I'm gonna knock this off.
Perplexity. Goes the way, Perplexity. So I went into Perplexity and I had to do a little deep. Oh, that was mine. Perplexity. And I asked it, what was the top piece or jewel that's on the tip of a pyramid? In ancient Egypt, the top stone is a pyramidion. It's a separate, specific shaped block that finishes the pyramid. It's a small capstone block that originally sat at an apex and was often made of fine stone covered in gold and silver alloy, electrum. What is electrum, Tony?
That's a good question. Let's find out. What is electrum? Electrum is a naturally occurring alloy of gold and silver, typically containing trace amounts of copper and other metals, known in ancient times as white gold or green gold. It is famous for its pale yellow or yellowish white appearance and was historically used for early coinage and jewelry.
Yep, it says it would gleam brightly in the sun, almost like a giant jewel or beacon. Ancient texts and later descriptions suggest the whole pyramid was achieved in a smooth white limestone casing, with that shiny capstone acting as a visually striking crown. But like you just said, the electrum, gold and silver that had copper in it, those are all conductors. So I was reading somewhere and I couldn't find it, but I just want to go to Perplexity so it would explain it, saying that it was a conductor. But we'll get more into the pyramids. I saw another video on YouTube I might be able to trace. I might be on the Joe Rogan Experience with talking about how some things were in the pyramid. There's like a system for like doors, how they were supporting that.
Think about sliding over to NBC News Live real quick and see what's going on with NBC. check this out.
$1 million he's never going to see.
What was his reaction?
That lack of emotion
True
was
crime.
an indifference to Wendy or a disregard for women in general.
I don't know if you're trying to do some true crime.
Detectives say Skoda was a man with a history of mooching off girlfriends. This former lover testified she supported a Skoda for years.
How much money did you give him a month?
Approximately.
He had a history of mooching off of his girlfriends. We're not mooching off of our girlfriends around here. We're getting money on this podcast, y'all. So how's everyone doing tonight? Man? How many people got in the chat? What's going on? Hey, listen, we're not no bops. We're bobs.
We're Bob's.
We're not bops. We're bobs. You understand me? How y'all doing tonight, man? What's going on? You know what? I can't see your chat. This is why we have to do the stream together feature.
Oh no! So there's a way. Listen, you need to get Tickfinity. Tickfinity allows you to broadcast your chat from each one of your whatever you're streaming from onto anything you're using, like your Discord, camera layout, share screens. You know what I'm saying?
Check this out. Boy pulled from the rubble in the aftermath of the earthquake. Let me check this one out. Here, pop into this real quick for your chat. Screen share.
Legs, back. Lay him back. Easy, lay down. Lay him down. Press, get your back up a little. Hey!
Yeah, it's the earthquake.
Holy cow.
Look at this kid, man.
Despacito.
Golly, man.
Lento.
He's alive.
Suave, muy bien.
Suave.
Got his phone in his hand. Clutching it in a death grip, our most important possession, chat. Take note. Where's his children?
That is crazy. That is crazy.
He's got his phone clutched in his hand.
If you think about it, he's just survived an earthquake. But he's
So this
gripping
guy,
the phone. He's got to tweet about this later.
it's not really funny, of course. However, I just want to show you how they've manipulated us to get trapped by this technology. This man was just buried in rubble for like 3 days, okay? And when he pulled him from the rubble, he has his dead iPhone, because you know his iPhone battery's not that good. He has his dead iPhone in his hands, clutched. I'm going to back this up I want you to see the death grip that this poor gentleman has on the phone. Incredible. We're going to pause it. Well, that's the sun. You're right. I didn't go back far enough. There it is.
Lento. Suave, muy bien.
Look at the phone clutched in his hands. His arm is broken. Look at the scab. That's an iPhone. He's got an iPhone in his hands. Dead battery.
Gripping the phone. I have to have it.
He's been trying to send a message out, reach out to his loved ones, do whatever, to the extent that he's ripped the skin off of his wrist and hand. This poor guy. It's not funny, but it's crazy.
It's not funny, but it is.
It's funny. All right. This is the boy. The boy looks all right. The boy looks healthy.
So young.
The boy looks.
He hasn't even.
He's like, Papa, I'm good. I want to know who my one viewer is. Who's my one viewer on Twitch? Just say something in the chat.
Despacio. Ajá, despacio.
More speed. 1 liter of fluid. Second was started when he left. This boy has
Nobody understands what he's saying.
1 liter of fluid. That's it. Okay, let's back up. Right.
Cocaine.
Hey, we're gonna meet down here, right? Down here in the box.
Look at that aftermath. That's crazy. Man, boy, I tell you, that's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. Obama campaigning in Chicago. That's old. That's old. Oh, this is all AP. I'm in AP. I'm gonna go. Let's roll over to ABC. ABC's live right now. That's a commercial.
Let's go more Venezuela, bro. It's crazy over.
Here we go.
The recovery efforts in Caracas, the AP reporting the death toll has risen to more than 1,400. A website for reporting missing loved ones lists tens of thousands of people still unaccounted for. Joining me now in Caracas is journalist Tony Frangier Mawad, who's joining in us, who's reporting on this as well. Tony, thank you so much for joining us at such a difficult time. It's been nearly 72 hours since the earthquakes. So what are you seeing there on the ground in Caracas?
So the situation is really dire right now. Right now, I'm actually talking from a relief center where we are preparing food for senior citizens that were moved from the wrecking sites in La Guaira, which is the most affected area, coastal town outside Caracas. What we've seen is a very generous, very wide response from civil society, from neighborhood organizations, religious organizations, schools, but a practical total absence of the state. The response from the state has been very soft, very mild, and the arrival of aid from abroad happened, 2 days after the earthquake. So time is against us, and we know that there are still tens of thousands of people missing, and we know from reports, even from within the ruins, that people are trapped in the rubble, even sending messages, text messages to their relatives and friends. So the situation is really dire, and as I said, there's buildings that fell in Caracas, but especially in La Guaira outside Caracas, where hundreds of buildings fell, and that's where most of the missing people is right now.
And obviously, this is a very emotional time for everyone there, especially those who are directly affected by this. What stands out to you about how Venezuelans have responded to this disaster?
I actually feel that despite the horror and the catastrophe that we're enduring as a country, it has shown our best side as a people. Despite the institutional absence that we've seen, people have actually managed to organize relief centers, to organize campaigns, to organize distribution networks, and mobilize to the most affected areas to help those in need. I feel that it shows that our country, despite a long-standing humanitarian crisis in the last years, after a massive economic contraction like the one we live in the last decade, after an earthquake, and after 2 decades of authoritarianism, Venezuelan society still has high spirits and managed to continue using our communitary networks, our family networks, our civil organization networks to provide relief and to continue existing as a unified society.
Yeah, and so much going on right now, and aid is coming in, and we wish you guys just a quick recovery through this.
Wish them good luck, man. Really. Good grief. What you looking for right there? For clips of LeBron James flopping and Michael Jordan dunking on people. Oh! I want to know why my camera can't focus on Discord. There's the sun. The sun has arrived.
What's pop?
Check it out. Let's get into it. I want to figure out how to make my camera not autofocus in Discord, because it's still happening, but it's happening in Discord. It's not happening on directly on my stream.
Right now in 2026, people up group stage, top spots in each held by Mexico, Switzerland, Spain, England. That's pretty cool. Mexico is actually the Group A. Mexico is the top of the group. Wins from 3. 7 points. Bosnia. Group C, Brazil and Morocco are level on 7 points. Still ahead on a difference. They're tied. That's never hearing. United States first in the group, 6 points, 4+. We're walking all over our. Germany leads on 6 points, tied with Code, but ahead.
Totally walking out of competition.
Try to pronounce it. Tops the group with 7 points from matches. Big underdog. Belgium is first closely, followed by both are unbeaten. That's crazy. Spain leads with 7 points.
Who's unbeaten?
Belgium, and that's going to be a good matchup. Same group have to clash together. Actually, France has a perfect record. 8 plus gold, 1 loss. Argentina is on top with 9 points, and J, 7 gold difference. Hey, Colombia leads 7 points. Group L, England first was at a Croatia.
I don't know why my camera's not zoom clearing like it needs to.
So right now,
piece of shit. It's a piece of shit, chat. That's why.
So Mexico,
we go.
U.S., Germany, Argentina, France, Norway, Colombia, Switzerland, Canada, Brazil, Morocco, South Africa, Ivory Coast, and are all already in the round of 30. Oh, a lot of those teams, besides you, they're not. And it's crazy for most people who think about the World Cup. Back in the, this is a way the world would get up. They fight out for soccer. Whoever won the world.
Is that true?
That's why this sport is so serious for countries. People are like,
I didn't know that.
About the World Cup. The World Cup is ever. Bump football, American basketball.
Bigger than the bigger than
anything.
Really?
Let's go into.
I got a Trump statement about the Venezuelan earthquakes on cue for when we're ready. Share your screen.
But we're going to help them out.
For months, the U.S. has been working with Venezuela's new leader, Delcy Rodriguez. So now is really a moment when the U.S. government, the Trump administration, is going to be able to demonstrate what kind of partner it can be in these efforts and going forward.
And Catherine, for any Americans who are caught up in this catastrophe, what is the advice from the State Department? Is the U.S. Embassy still functioning there?
The embassy is operating and they're monitoring the situation. They've asked that any U.S. citizens and Americans monitor the State Department's enrollment program for Americans overseas. That will provide critical information with what's going on and allow people to keep in touch with U.S. authorities as they figure out what's next.
All right, Catherine Doyle in Washington. Catherine, thank you so much. As the international response grows in Venezuela, humanitarian groups are racing to get life-saving aid to survivors. Joining me now is Eleanor Rakes. She's Vice President for Program Delivery at the International Rescue Committee. Eleanor, good to have you with us. Your organization has been working in Venezuela for years now. I know you're scaling up your relief efforts. Just tell us what your teams are doing on the ground right now. What are the most urgent needs?
Thanks for having me. Yes, we've been working in Venezuela for many years with staff on the ground. Thankfully, the first thing we did was make sure that they were all safe and accounted for, and that is the case. We work also with 7 trusted local Venezuelan organizations, and we've been delivering humanitarian services to tens of thousands of Venezuelans over the last few years in health, nutrition, food security, protection and education. We're now mobilizing that team and our partner organizations to respond to what is obviously a very devastating set of earthquakes. It's going to have long-lasting humanitarian impact. So right now, there is an intense search and rescue operation going on, but we are also mobilizing to provide basic relief items, critical medical supplies, and deliver those supplies to frontline workers in the most affected areas. Your correspondent referenced the logistical challenges of getting supplies in right now. The airport is damaged. Fortunately, we have pre-positioned stock inside the country that we're able to resource, and more stock across the border in Colombia. So we're working with what we have and working with partner organizations that already have presence in impacted areas and existing services that can now be oriented towards the relief efforts.
You mentioned the logistical challenges, and we're seeing countries.
So America's trying to get down there to give effort to help out. That's good.
Yeah. So the behind it is
Complexity.
Best trade prices. Whoever won previous debt, their trade. So you would put up your trade contract. Whoever lost would swap with, which is still crazy. And back in the day.
Pause.
Country be like a flex or like military. U.S. right now. Like a flex. Crazy how different. Summarize me. I was on.
So I was trying to figure out my camera. It just keeps still. So I can do it with OBS, but when I'm in the Discord, it keeps still trying to do the autofocus thing. My lighting is good. I mean, how do I look good on your camera? My lighting is good. Thanks.
Oh, awesome. I'm gonna have to wrap up here.
My boy has to work. That's all my boy does is go to work. You work too much, bro.
All these will be on Spotify soon. I appreciate it.